Hey guys, welcome back to Extreme IE. In this video, we are going to get Docker up and running on a CentOS box. Now, as with my Ubuntu lab, all of this is running in AWS. So again, take the opportunity to learn other things. Don't just jump into containers and be like, this is all I'm going to learn. No, take an opportunity to learn AWS. Also take an opportunity to learn other operating systems. If you're used to Ubuntu, try CentOS, try RHEL, try other things, right? So I've already updated this box, so we don't have to do that. And just like in the last video, we are going to follow the Docker documentation. I have it up on another screen, so if you want to go follow along, it's going to be docker.com, and then you can just pick you can go to the install documentation, just pick CentOS, and you can go ahead and follow along. Now, if you watch the video on Ubuntu, we use the apt-get command. Now, if you're not used to Linux, again, take some time, go learn Linux, go learn, the various different ways you install things. In Ubuntu, we're using, again, apt-get. In CentOS, we're going to use the yum command. It's a little bit different. Same concept though, right? So different command, same concept. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove any of the previous versions that may be installed. This is, again, per the documentation. This is their best practice of what they essentially want you to do. Do you have to do this? No. If this is a fresh, bare image, you don't really have to do this. But again, we're just going to follow the documentation. If you're doing this as well and you're following along with me, this is going to be the very first step in the documentation that they want you to do. So we're going to follow it. I could obviously go ahead and just copy and paste this, but that would take the fun out. What I would recommend you guys do if you're learning this for the first time, go ahead and learn how to type these out. Right, because what's going to happen is it's going to be muscle memory. The more that you do this, the more you're going to essentially learn it. So let's just paste this here because I'm lazy. Okay, and also you'll notice that the same principle applies here with the backslash, right? Where at the end of each line I'm hitting a backslash so that it allows me to just type in how many packages I want to remove. You could also type them across the screen here with a space in between and it would essentially do the same thing. Now I don't expect to find any, which this is exactly what I expected because this is a bare bones CentOS image. We didn't install anything, we didn't change anything, so we should be good to go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to install some, by the way, you've also, I hope you've already recognized that I have escalated my privilege. So, if I type exit here, you'll notice how I come back out. So we'll go ahead and escalate our privilege so that this way we're running this as root, right? So we're going to say yum install. We are going to do a -y, and we're going to do yum utils. This is going to install some CentOS utils if we need them. Essentially, we don't because we're all updated. Now this command I am going to copy and paste directly from the documentation. Again, if you're following along, it's the very first step in the actual install to update our repository. The reason we're doing this is because if we don't do this, when we actually go to pull the Docker image, it's going to yell at us. It's going to say, hey, I really don't know what to do here. I don't know where this image is. I don't know where it's found. I don't know what to do, and it's just going to give us an error message. So it'll error out. So now, just like in Ubuntu, what we want to do is we're going to say yum install. Again, instead of apt-get install, we're saying yum install, and we're going to say docker CE CLI. We're going to say container, assuming I can type, container d.io, and then we're going to say docker compose dash plugin. These are the same packages. Man, there's something wrong with my typing. These are the same packages that we installed for Ubuntu. Now here you'll notice where it's going to ask us, hey, do you want to do this? Is this really what we want to do? We're going to say why. This is why a lot of times when I do an install, I'll go ahead and just do a -y because that essentially says, hey, don't ask me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm typing. Don't ask. Just essentially do it. So this is going to run for a minute. This is going to actually download the Docker packages. Again, we'll say why for yes. And this will go ahead and install everything that we need to do. And then we'll go ahead and make sure that Docker is started. So I'm going to pause the video. Again, this should only take a couple seconds, but I'm going to pause it anyway. Okay, so if you see in the screen here, everything seems updated. Let's actually do a system CTL. We'll do status and we'll type Docker. All right, so Docker's installed, application container engine. We should be running. It's actually inactive. So let's just say, we'll say system CTL. We'll say start Docker. Okay, let's do the same command again, and now it's running. So here, we saw that it was installed, but you can see here that the service was actually inactive. It was dead. So here we've gone ahead and started it. Now, in some installations, you may find that this service does not start automatically, so you may want to go in and have it be something that you start automatically so that so that, obviously when you reboot or whatnot, it comes up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say docker run hello world. This is the same exact command that we typed in Ubuntu. It's the same principle. What this is going to automatically do is pull the hello world image. It's going to say hello from Docker. If we say docker container list, we don't have anything. Docker ps, we don't have anything because we haven't pulled down any images yet. So just like in our Ubuntu video, what we'll do is we will pull down the image from Apache. So I'm just going to paste that command in there. Again, it's essentially the same command that we put in Ubuntu because we're now using Docker as the software. So now it doesn't matter whether I'm on Ubuntu or RHEL, the Docker run commands, the Docker commands are going to be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull down an HTTP server. It's going to essentially pull that image down directly from Docker. It's going to pull down my web server. If I say docker ps, I have a web server up and running. If I say docker container list, again, the same exact command. So again, we've installed Docker. We've set this up. We're good to go. All right. If you guys want to learn how to essentially delete this application, if you guys want to learn essentially how to get access to it and, set up your own web server and whatnot, shoot over to, I'll actually put the link in the description, but shoot over to the video where I show you how to set up actual applications in Docker. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have a great night.